Hi guys, welcome to Wahala Nade, the home of African movie recaps. Let's get straight into the Wahala. Today's movie is called Umuocham, the Land of Justice. It begins with Mirema, a young lady fetching firewood, but is stopped by her betrothed, Zimuzo. They both confess their love for each other before going home. And on arrival to Mirema's compound, Mirema's mother greets them and instructs Mirema to serve Zimuzo food. This is an old-age African tradition. Later in the day, Zimuzo and his father discuss about Zimuzo and Mirema's betrothal. There is an issue that has come on. Someone has challenged Zimuzo to a fight in order to take Mirema from him. But even though his father is against it, Zimuzo accepts the challenge. And when he informs Mirema about the challenge, she becomes scared for his life, begging him not to fight. But Zimuzo stands his ground, leaving Mirema no worried. Mirema's father later confirms what Zimuzo told Mirema, but he puts Mirema's mind at ease, as there is an alternative. If Zimuzo can pay Mirema's bride price within the next 2 days, the fight won't occur. As men have pride, Zimuzo declines the alternative option and sticks to his decision to fight. This makes not only Mirema, but everyone around him more nervous. But Mirema's mother advises her daughter to stand by Zimuzo, and Mirema adheres to her mother's advice and supports him. The day of the fight arrives, and Zimuzo's father consults their ancestors to assist his son on a victory, and then the men leave. Mirema waits nervously for them to return as the day goes by. Even Zimuzo and Mirema's mother become more nervous as the men have yet to return. Alas, Zimuzo is escorted back victoriously and the villagers celebrate. But even with his win, Zimuzo still has to wait until after the Ogozu festival for him to pay Mirema's bride price, as it is their custom. As Ugochi, Mirema's best friend, leaves for 2 days, Mirema is left vulnerable and is almost attacked on her way to the stream. But a young man named Uchedu defends her and decides to escort her to the stream and then back to her village before leaving her. Mirema reports the incidents to Zugozo, his father, and her parents. But luckily, Ugochi is back. They are able to walk around together. When they prepare to go to the stream, Mirema comes out with her mother's special pot. Ugochi warns her against it, but she doesn't listen. As they are returning from the stream, the pot slips off Mirema's head and falls and breaks, leaving her very devastated. When Uchedu finds her crying, he offers her his pot, which looks just the same as the one that broke. Mirema runs home with joy. But this intrigues the two ladies of how Uchedu appears out of nowhere when Mirema is in trouble, and as they should, because the next day he appears again while the ladies are at the farm. Seconds later, Mirema is bitten by a snake, and luckily the herbs that he was carrying the cure to the snake's venom. When Mirema gets better, she visits Uchedu to thank him for saving her. Uchedu then gives Mirema a necklace, but Mirema later gives it to Zimuzo. The necklace becomes Zimuzo's downfall because his strength begins to deteriorate. During an evening village gathering, Zimuzo is defeated in a small fight, making everyone worried. He even finds it difficult to do his chores as the week passes. This now becomes an issue, for when he returns from the farm with Mirema, several boys harass him and beat him up, taking his warrior bands. This event forces his father to consult the ancestors, but this makes him angry, and as the rumors begin to move around the community, everyone turns negative towards Zimuzo except for Mirema, her father, and Zimuzo's parents. But Zimuzo is still being harassed by the villagers, and this disgrace causes Zimuzo's father to strangle himself, and his body is later thrown into the evil forest. The first event saddens Mirema, and out of nowhere, Uchedu shows up to comfort her, advising her to leave Zimuzo, but Mirema walks away. Even Mirema's mother has now turned negative towards Zimuzo and his family, but Mirema's father warns her against her opinions. The only person Mirema thought she could confide in was Uchogu, but she advises her to also leave Zimuzo now that he is a weak man. Mirema is now under a lot of pressure, which leads her to meet up with Zimuzo while he was practicing and break off their engagement. This leaves Zimuzo devastated and crying on the ground. Odoka, Zumozo's best friend, returns from his maternal home and visits his friend. They discuss about what has been happening, and he encourages his friend not to lose hope. While Mirima has moved on and talks to her mother about Uchedu, but her mother instructs her that she must meet this young man before anything else. The scene switches to Mirima going back to Zumozo, but in truth, Zumozo was just dreaming, and Odoka wakes him up. To encourage his friend, Odoka indulges him in a practice fight, but seeing his friend's weak strength, he suggests they see his aunt, who is a seer. Mirima, on the other hand, tells her father about Uchedu, but her father rejects him and only insists on Zumozo. This makes Mirima walk away. Mirima's father and Zumozo's mother meet along the road, and she informs him of the breakup between their children. Zumozo and Odoka visits Ondoka's aunt, and she reveals that there's evil hovering around Zumozo. She suggests he should consult a great sorcerer. On their way back, Zumozo informs Ondoka that he will not see the sorcerer. Even when Ondoka tries to persuade him, he sticks to his decision. So Ondoka seeks Mirima's father's help to persuade Zumozo, and he accepts. Mirima's father is able to persuade Zumozo to see the sorcerer. The deviant reveals a woman sabotaged his father's altar on the day of his fight, leading to the ancestors not being able to communicate. But we never know who this woman is. He also reveals that the person who was causing Zumozo's lack of strength is the owner of the necklace he has around his neck. Even though we all know that Mirima gave him the necklace, the sorcerer says she is not the original owner. Uchedu is the one causing all the problems. As the Dibia cleanses Zumozo, Uchedu senses it and runs towards Mirima's house. He knows he doesn't have time, so he convinces Mirima to live with him, and she accepts. But on the way, she starts to change her mind. Zumozo, Oduka, and Mirima's father are running back to save Mirima. Since Mirima has changed her mind, she turns around and starts to return home. But Uchedu forces her to continue, so she screams. The three men who are hurrying back hear her and come to her aid. It is revealed that Uchedu was trying to take Mirima as revenge towards her father for taking away his wife. But with Zumozo's strength back, Zumozo was able to stop Uchedu, making him run away. Mirima is safe and the two are back together. And in the end, Zumozo is able to get back his warrior band. This movie was called Umuocham, the Land of Justice. It teaches us never to lose hope on the people we love.